Okay, so what you're telling me, crackhead, is that we've got no county coordinator yet in Erie, Warren, Berks, Monco, Luzerne, or Lackawanna County. Yeah? And that we've come up dry in about 15 counties right there in the center of the state. Oh, no, I'd call you incompetent, but you would have to improve dramatically just to achieve incompetence. In the dictionary, under moron, they could just put a picture of you and everyone would just totally get it. God, I feel stupider just being on the phone with you. Now, if you were the answer on Jeopardy, the question would have to be, who is an incompetent moron?
That's me, Jason Mahoney, campaign manager extraordinaire. Okay, the truth is, I'm in so far over my head, it's not even funny. So far, I think I got them all fooled, though. I find that if you yell enough, people actually think you know what the hell you're talking about. My job is really quite simple. I'm here to move numbers, polling numbers. And if I move enough numbers to win this race, I might have a shot at doing a presidential someday. Lose it? Yeah, you'll be lucky to find me putting up yard signs for some yahoo running for city council. Woo! Look, I gotta run into a meeting. Dr. Gloom's about to give us our first set of numbers, so I got enough to worry about. Plus, the candidate's bringing Mrs. crazier than hell. Here's the bottom line. Get those counties filled and do it this week, or you're out of here. Stop whimpering. You know I love you, right? Almost like a brother.
They're all waiting for you in the conference room.
Hey, Trace.
Nice pockets on those jeans.
That's one more for the file.
Yeah, how big is that thing now?
You don't want to know. And I've been talking to some of the other girls. Evidently, this could be a class action suit.
Does that mean I have to cut you out of our Republican Women Gone Wild fundraising idea? You get beads. Still there? All right. If you see Mom, tell her I'm not gonna make it there this weekend. Yeah, I gotta go. Time to move some numbers.
I don't know what's wrong with this thing. Yeah, F1, F5, hit F7. One of those effing buttons. Nice projector, Jason. Where'd you get this, off the Lincoln campaign?
Huh. God, funny, it was working fine this morning when Frank Luntz was using it.
Very funny. Ha ha. You bring that fiction writer in here, I am out of here.
Marty, relax. You know you're the only pollster we're sleeping with.
Okay.
We got it. All right, then. Let's get started. Since we have our expensive consultants here, I would like to get our money's worth. So, I assume we all know each other, so we don't have to go around the room and share our most embarrassing moments. Unless, of course, Alicia, you'd like to volunteer an embarrassing moment of your own.
Aren't we waiting for
The
Congressman?
candidate and candidate are running a few minutes late. They said we should get started. So I figure we'll take a look at the data, and then we'll figure out what we're actually going to tell them. Without any further ado, Dr. Gloom, the floor is yours.
All right, let me get right into the data here. First slide, please. We've been out in the field Monday and Tuesday nights, and we've sampled 800 likely Pennsylvania voters. Margin of error is ±4. First, I'm going to hit the top
Now,
line.
instead of spending the next few minutes bored out of our mind, let me introduce you to the people in the room.
Finally, I'm going to teach you kids a little something about regression analysis.
You've already met Dr. Gloom. He's one of the most respected pollsters in the country. He's done 3 presidentials, 20 Senate races, and helped elect 10 governors. And no matter how good the numbers are, he'll always find some way to leave you depressed. Now that's Jimmy D, our Oppo guy. Everybody has a secret, everybody. His job, find it, make damn sure we can prove it and that it's accurate. And if our candidate has a secret, Jimmy better find it before somebody else does. Now, let me introduce you to the lovely Alicia, our communications director. Now, I'm an equal opportunity employer, and given the opportunity, I will hire the hot chick every time. But Toots here wasn't my pick. No, she only got the gig because her father's a big-time contributor. We needed a wolf, someone who'd get into a reporter's face, rip a heart out if needed. And instead, they hand me Little Miss Ivy Lee. I'm gonna make her life hell till she quits. Robert Sinclair. Quirky as hell. I think he probably has ADD. His suits cost more than my car, but he's the most creative ad guy around. They tell me he's won like 50 Polly Awards. That's the Academy Award for slash and burn ads. Truth is, I don't give a damn if he's got an Oscar, an Emmy, or herpes, so long as he helps us win this race. Meet Trey McAllister III, better known by his online name, Blymeister6. Now, I have no idea what that means, but I'm sure there's some special federal cyber unit trying to figure it out. He also happens to be the best code-writing, web-building, social networking tweeter I could find. That's why I call him Techno. I'm pretty sure he hates that.
Okay, so this is the bottom line. If the election is held today, and thank God it's not, we lose by 8 or 9 points. Which, considering that Dems have a 12-point registration advantage, is not that bad. Plus, we're only down 5 points with men and 4 points with seniors. But this is the critical chart. These are the messages that move numbers. And of these messages, the top 3 are all negative.
I thought I made it clear that we wouldn't go negative first.
Mrs. Sanders, Congressman.
How is everyone? Good to see you.
We don't have to go negative first. We can be doves if you like, but we better be well-armed doves, because they're going to be coming after us, and with nukes. Look, in all honesty, I don't see there's any way that we can win this thing without driving Doyle's negatives way up.
We can discuss the when later. What are the negatives?
Well, we have 2 strong pushes, and one that is off the charts. First one, Rendell tax increase. Doyle voted for it. Second best, he voted for and then took the midnight pay raise. But the third one, and this is the killer push, he was convicted not once, but twice of drunk driving.
Oh, nice.
I thought after Clinton, the personal stuff didn't matter anymore. I mean, I don't think the voters are going to think it's relevant.
Oh, you can't imagine what I can do with this. We'll show people they're lucky he didn't kill their kids driving drunk.
You know what? People don't like someone who raises their taxes. They especially don't like someone who raises their taxes and who's a drunk.
I just don't see how anyone's going to give a damn. The voters will not think it's relevant.
Of course this is relevant. He made a bad choice not once, but twice. It goes right to character, and we have a responsibility to put it out there.
Alicia, look, I know your mother was killed by a drunk driver, and I'm sorry about that. But we can't let this cloud our good judgment.
Well, I say we use this to gut him like a fish.
Let me make myself very clear. I don't give a goddamn how many campaigns you've all done or how many times you've been on Bill Maher. You work for us. Your obscene retainer checks and your winning bonuses, they come from us. So something is only relevant when we say it's relevant. Here's what I want you to do. Very quietly, go to the Doyle campaign and let them know what we have. And that, under the right circumstances, we won't hesitate to use it.
Why would we ever do that?
I assume you know who you are. And this is Talk Radio 1560, the only place in Pittsburgh you can tune to find out what the hell is really going on. Coming up at 9 this morning, a real coup for us. A very rare question and answer session with one of Pennsylvania's U.S. Senate candidates. And believe me, you're not going to be hearing the usual moronic softball questions that have been carefully planted by some sleazy campaign operative. In fact, we're gonna have a little surprise for our esteemed guest. And believe me, you're not going to want to miss it.
This is a huge mistake. I told you we should never let Sanders go on air with her. Then again, it's not like I'm the communications director. Oh, wait, I am.
Aren't you supposed to be with Sanders right now? Daniels has been going on all morning about some surprise she's got planned for him.
I'm just leaving, but first we need to talk.
About?
For starters, my press release on cap and trade.
Oh, yeah. Bummer. C-.
I'm not happy about this at all.
Well, I can change it to a C+ if that'll make you happier.
You're such an ass.
Look, I am not here to be your mentor. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to move numbers, to get us past 50, and that's it.
Mentor. Friend. I'd settle for the least bit of decency. You're so intent on proving that I can't do this job that you're totally oblivious to the fact that I'm pretty damn good at it.
Fine. You want to play truth or dare? Here's the truth. I think you're a risk. And no, you weren't my first choice. You weren't even my fifth. I mean, you've never been communications director on a single statewide, not even a competitive congressional. So I'd take dare.
And you've been the campaign manager on a statewide. I believe the answer is... none.
Which is exactly why you were the wrong choice.
Earth to J-Boy.
Earth to J-Boy. Jimmy D's holding on too. He's in a freaking panic over something.
Jimmy D, what's going on? Sounds like you're convulsing. You off your meds again?
Who's the Einstein that let Sanders go on the Lynn Daniels show?
He was cornered at a fundraiser, and she talked him into it. There's nothing we could do. He agreed.
Well, here's a little news flash for you. One of my peeps just informed me that Daniels secretly arranged to have Doyle there as well. You are walking into an impromptu debate, buddy boy, and it's going to be a disaster.
We never agreed to that.
Yeah, well, with a nice lead in the polls, you can be sure that Doyle's going to count this as the one debate he agreed to do. The only good news for you, Jason Mahoney, is that after Sanders gets cut up into a million little pieces, you'll finally have the ammunition you've been looking for to get rid of, what is it you call her, oh yeah, the prom queen.
Prom queen? Really? Nice. We're going to have to stop this fiasco, or this race is going to be over before it begins.
How in the world can you defend Dick Cheney? The guy should be tried for treason, for heaven's sake. I mean, first he talks our idiot president into a war in Iraq that didn't have to be fought. And then he actually goes and outs one of our own CIA agents. It makes my blood boil.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is Obama, he's no different.
And all I'm saying is that you, sir, are an idiot. And I am not going to let you insult the intelligence of my audience anymore. Let's, pay a few bills. And now here's your once-in-a-while AccuWeather forecast.
It'll be mostly sunny today with a high around.
Once you lead into the news at the top of the hour, I need you to meet me downstairs in the lobby. I need your help herding Sanders and Doyle up here. We want to make sure neither one panics or bolts.
I am not at all comfortable with what you're doing. I mean, this is nothing more than an ambush.
All right, let me explain this very simply to you. Lynn, either you can get your ratings up or you can get a real job. Was it fun bagging groceries last time?
Look, how far are you willing to go for ratings?
Think about it. We're gonna have the first and probably only debate between the candidates in what is the only Senate race in the country this year. We have cameras set up in the studio so we can stream it live on our website. You're gonna be tweeting in real time to over 500,000 people. And as soon as the debate is finished, we're putting up footage for all the major networks and cable news stations to grab. This is gonna be the biggest break of your career.
All I'm telling you is I am going to be as tough on Doyle as I am on Sanders.
You can set them both on fire as far as I'm concerned, just as long as you make it good theater. And make sure that when you get down to the last question, you hit Sanders on the stuff about the photos.
really should make people get a tetanus shot before they ride in here.
Why don't you make yourself useful? Text Sanders and tell him no matter what, do not go up into the studio until we get there. Sandy, launch Operation Renegade. It's 1560 Talk in Pittsburgh, 9 o'clock a.m., 25 minutes from now. Good.
Operation Renegade?
I've had our grassroots coordinator identify about 100 people, mostly older women, who can launch an immediate phone chain. What the?
Come on.
They're trained for situations just like this. They keep calling the station. If they get through, they have assigned questions that they're going to each ask Doyle.
So you're telling me that you've recruited and trained a sleeper cell of blue-haired Republican women and you've just activated them?
We're also contacting any advertisers of 1560 who are supporters of ours and asking them to immediately pull their ads.
Look, I'm really sorry about the prom queen thing. I'll be honest with you, most days I'm in an absolute terror managing this race.
I know that if we lose this thing, all the gun sights are going to be pointed in one direction. Mine. So I'll worry about everything.
Well, now you have one less thing to worry about.
What is this? What is this?
My resignation.
Congressman Sanders, Mrs. Sanders, how wonderful to see you.
Lynn, great to see you again.
Lynn, we're so excited that you invited
And Senator Doyle. How wonderful of you to come as well.
Nice to be here.
Patrick.
Congressman.
What a surprise.
It is very much that.
Okay, well, in a couple of minutes, we'll all head up to our studio on the 6th floor. We're going to use the entire hour without commercial interruption. There'll be a room outside the studio for guests and staff, so you'll be able to hear the debate.
Terrific.
You. This is beyond unethical. It's fraud. It's dishonest. It's despicable. It's not going to happen.
Right. Yes, it is. You've been the one calling for the debates. If your candidate refuses to go on air, it'll show he's afraid of a fair and balanced discussion of the issues, and then you can explain to him why the polls have him down another 5 points.
Fair. You're moderator. It's so liberal she makes Pelosi look like a conservative, and he probably has a copy of the questions. We've had no time to prepare. Besides, you have such little journalistic integrity. You'd probably blindside us with any crazy rumor.
Welcome to the big leagues, hon. Now, if you don't mind stepping aside, I have a debate to conduct. All right, everybody. Here are your badges to get into the studio.
Jason, over here. Stall them as long as you can.
Let's go do this thing.
Hey, does this have an operation name? Pancho Villa. Hey, you're not going anywhere without me. All right? Try that one. Floor 6, huh? All right, live radio. Here we go. It's a great medium. You know, really kind of underappreciated these days. Oops. Sorry about that. All right, let's get this thing going. And up to floor 6. Mm-hmm. And we're off. And away we go. Oh, my bad. I'm really glad you're here today, gentlemen. I mean, without you guys, this... All right. Is there a door close button? Oh, that's the open.
I'll get it.
Oh. Time's money. Fine spaces. Make me a little jumpy. What the hell was that?
What happened?
Okay, I didn't touch anything that time.
Does anyone have service on their cell phone?
No.
Oh, just perfect. We're supposed to go live in 2 minutes. What are we gonna do, Lynn?
Well, look, I'm sure someone is on it. Listen, while we're waiting to be rescued, how's about we start the debate?
You're kidding, right?
I'm game, Congressman.
Alrighty then. First question coming your way then, Congressman. You belong to a political party that went to great lengths to keep Terry Schiavo alive, remember? And at the time, let's see here, you were quoted as saying, "Every life is sacred and must be protected at all costs and extremes." And yet you voted for a war in which 60,000 plus innocent Iraqis have been killed. Aren't their lives just as sacred? No, that's all they can say. That's what they're offering the United States of America? That's what they're offering the people? No?
Hey, is Sanders on? How's he doing?
I don't know. He's not on. They're replaying a show from a month ago. Something weird is happening.
Huh. I bet the former president doesn't even know what eloquent means. Alrighty, Senator Doyle. You're up. Now, you have been a very harsh critic of President Bush. Now we have President Obama, and he has been giving Wall Street millionaires billions of taxpayer dollars. He's also done a flip-flop on wiretapping laws, and he is borrowing and spending gazillions and mortgaging our children's future. I don't suppose you're going to be as critical of him, are you? Or are you going to remain an unabashed groupie?
Patrick?
Are you willing to support any pro-choice candidate for the Supreme Court? Earmarks, keep them or end them forever? Universal health care sounds great, doesn't it? Whose pocket you gonna pick to pay for it? Hey, Doyle, isn't it time to legalize pot and rake in the tax dollars? What's the last book you read?
The congressman and his wife, the movie star, the talk show host, and you.
Well, gentlemen, the debate that apparently no one is ever going to hear or see will officially be over in 3, 2, 1. That bitch.
Hallelujah.
Yipper.
Jason, I've got some really good news.
You just want a free subscription to the Journal of Standard Deviation?
No, not that. I'm up in Michigan, presenting polling data to the Simpson campaign. And whom do I run into? Lanny Behringer. After the meeting, he pulls me aside and tells me he's not real happy here. He said to tell you he's willing to bail on Simpson and join you guys.
Really? Lanny Behringer? He's willing to come here to be communications director.
Congratulations, Jason. You're getting the best in the business. I'll email him and have him call you tomorrow so you can work out all the details.
Hey, Marty, do me a favor. You tell Lanny I said thanks. Thanks an awful lot. But no thanks.
Jason, what are you doing?
Well, I think it's possible we already have the best in the business.
Marty, you with us?
Yeah, I got you.
Good. Okay, I'm gonna walk you through some storyboard concepts for our first set of ads. But before I do, I want you to keep a couple things in mind. As you know from Marty's benchmark, we're starting this race about 8 points down. So all it'll take is for them to move a few Dems home and race is over. Now, the unfortunate reality is if we run a good campaign and they run a good campaign, they win. It also means that our ads can't be the typical fast food served up by most campaigns, which people hate. Political ads are uninvited guests in their homes. Now, we've got about 4 seconds to
As exciting as this intro to Marketing 101 is, could we just get to the damn ad ideas, please? We wouldn't have hired you if we didn't think you already knew this stuff.
Sinclair, the congressman is due for an editorial board meeting shortly. Perhaps it's best just to move on to the concepts.
All right, then. For your viewing pleasure, let's take a little gander at the boards. Jennifer, would you mind playing Vanna? What I've developed is a continuity series around the key issue, the economy. Now, specifically, each spot illustrates, in a humorous way, just how far people would be willing to go to have their taxes lowered. The first one is called Parachute, just like we practiced. Picture a small plane high above. We cut to a man, 40s, inside the plane, and he's talking to camera above the noise of the airplane engines. And he starts by asking, what would I be willing to do to have my taxes lowered and maybe put some more money in my family's wallet? Well, if I thought it would help, I would strap a parachute onto my mother-in-law's back and send her on a little sightseeing trip of the Keystone State. Now, camera pulls back to reveal a slightly concerned older woman sitting next to our man. She's wearing a helmet and a parachute. Now we can see the door of the airplane is open, and just when we think she's about to go out of the airplane, the action suddenly freezes, and we hear Congressman Sanders' reassuring voice say,
Stop. You don't need to put your mother-in-law's life at risk to lower taxes. What you really need is someone in the U.S. Senate who's going to fight every day to put an end to out-of-control pork barrel spending and earmarks. And I think it's time we stopped using these to cut taxes and started using this.
Now, we cut back into the plane where the guy in the plane says, okay, but if anything changes, just let me know. Then, as the ad closes, we see behind the congressman, in the far distance, a single parachute opening.
I believe you called this a continuity series. What would the rest of the ads look like?
A collection of people from all over the state of Pennsylvania talking about the bizarre things they would do to have their taxes lowered.
Such as?
A senior couple willing to sing Do You Think I'm Sexy in a karaoke biker bar, or a guy getting ready to jump into a tank full of sharks. The execution possibilities are endless.
Sinclair, I hope you haven't spent your entire retainer check on drugs.
The one thing I can tell you is these ads will get noticed, watched, and remembered.
Yeah, of that I am sure. Marty, are these what the data is telling us to do?
Look, numbers are pretty clear. People are scared to death about money right now. But it's not just taxes, it's also job security, it's health care, it's retirement. Look, I'm the last guy to play Siskel and Ebert with the creative. But the message needs to be widened beyond just taxes. Make sense?
I think they're brilliant. I've seen the numbers and we can't play it safe, and the viral opportunities on the web for these are incredible. We can have a contest with people submitting their own ads, showing what they'd be willing to do to lower taxes.
Yeah, but what is the press gonna do with this stuff?
You kidding? They'll eat it up. They're dying for anything interesting in this race to cover. And I'm warning you now, we are going to get our wrists slapped by some of the editorial departments. Count on the PG and the Daily News.
We can't win this campaign based on the editorial board. Most of them are going to smack us no matter what we do.
Exactly.
I don't get it. I don't think these ads make me look at all senatorial. I don't want people to laugh at me. I want them to vote for me. And what about my background? 12 years in the Congress. Doyle cannot say that. And I can get you any number of people who will come out and tell you the difference I have made in their lives from all walks of life.
We don't want you to look senatorial. People are mad as hell at Washington. We want you to look real, like someone they can relate to, like someone that's not so arrogant that they can't have fun.
Not only do I think these ads are off target, I don't find them funny at all. Why would anybody laugh at some creep pushing his mother-in-law out of an airplane? Women will be offended. Seniors insulted. People are looking for hope and a leader, and you want to give them a punchline. There are plenty of real people out there who would be willing to talk about how Bob has helped improve their lives.
Testimonial ads? Testimonial ads? Nobody uses those anymore. They don't work. Nobody wants to hear some idiot that they don't know tell them who to vote for. They're like newspaper ads, worthless.
I will not allow you to humiliate my husband with these continuity spots.
Mrs. Sanders, I'm going to be brutally honest. I've been doing this for 2 decades, and I think that's about 2 decades longer than you. And what I've learned is it's not about the issues or the qualifications or the experience. It's about whether they like you or not. And unfortunately, what too many people think of your husband is that he's had a personality bypass. No offense.
Then why don't we just get him a great big red shiny nose and some oversized shoes?
I don't think the ads make him look foolish.
Yes, Princess. We all know what you think. Maybe we should hear from somebody else, You, Johnny Cash, what do you think? Oh, never mind. Jason, you're the campaign manager. How do you think we should handle this little difference of opinion?
Well, we already have filming time blocked off next week for the congressman. So I say we go ahead and film Sinclair's ads. But at the same time, we get another crew to do some interviews with real people. All right? Once we get some rough cuts together, we'll have Marty, we'll have you do some dial tests, and then we'll have our winner.
Jason, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I thought you want to know that Doyle just went up on TV.
I thought you geniuses said he wasn't going to be up for weeks.
What are they about?
It has a bunch of people from all around Pennsylvania talking about how great Doyle is and all he's done as a state senator. You know, testimonials. They're really good.
Your call is important to us. Thank you for holding.
Stronger base for
Jason, that Josh Green guy called again. And Marty's holding on the phone. He said to tell you he's going to jump off a bridge, but he wanted to say goodbye first.
Does Marty know yet?
Something tells me he does. Which line is it?
I'm gonna go out on a limb, but I'd say the blinking one.
Marty, how's the view?
Jason, I want a yes or a no.
Yes.
I knew it. Jason, how could you? How could you let someone else do the focus groups I was supposed to do? And of all people, Frank Luntz?
Marty.
Frank Luntz is going to do my dial testing. Luntz!
Marty, one of our biggest contributors agreed to raise the money for those focus groups on the condition that we use Luntz.
Jason, you swore to me I was going to do all of the polling on this campaign. And now I find out that you're in bed with Luntz. Do you know what that makes you?
A slut.
It makes you someone I can't trust. The only thing that matters between a pollster and his client, the only thing, is trust. It's like the relationship between a doctor and a patient. I don't know if I want to continue to do polling for someone I can't trust.
Marty, the amount of money we have set aside for the polling that you're going to be doing between now and the election is $250,000.
Okay, we're good.
Alicia, here are the final edits for the Erie County Small Business Speech. Jason, I was thinking about that conversation you had yesterday with Marty. And I wanted to thank you for not mentioning that it was Beth who wanted to bring in Luntz for the focus groups.
Mrs. Sanders is coming today, is she?
Yes. Beth will be here. She thinks you're all in collusion and against all her ideas. That's why she wanted to bring in an outside opinion.
Well, we all just want to win.
I know that. Look, she just saw him on some talk show. And, well, before I knew it, he was booked.
I'm here for my colonoscopy.
Sinclair! Everyone is going to love your work. I mean, on that last campaign, I cannot tell you, so many people mentioned your ads.
Has Frank been in here yet?
We haven't seen him.
There's a new Q poll coming out tomorrow.
And?
Down by 9.
Will that dry up our fundraising?
A little bit. 10 would have been devastating.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tiffany, Frank's assistant. He'll be in a minute, but in the meantime, he wanted me to give you a copy of his new book, What Americans Really Want, Really. And Mrs. Sanders? Yeah, he'll be right with you.
So has Marty ever written a book?
Hello, it's Jason. I'm not available right now, so please leave your message, including the time and date after the beep. Beep.
Hi, Jason. It's Josh Green again. I'm sure you recognize my voice by now. Listen, it's really in your campaign's best interest that you give me a call back. I've got something you guys really need to see, so call me.
Hello, Sanders campaign. Yes, chocolate muffins. Excellent. Congressman, it's a pleasure.
Mr. Luntz.
Dr. Luntz. Sinclair, I didn't expect to see you here.
What, and miss all the fun of 12 random people skewering my work?
Frank, I'm Beth Sanders.
Hello.
And I just want to say thank you for such a thoughtful gift.
I can assure you you're going to be invoiced for these books. But let's focus on what we're going to do here. This is the best technology that has been developed to test advertising. It's called instant response. You're going to see the lines going up and down over your face, over the ads. People react to every word, to every phrase. And then you're going to know, not from gut, but from reality, which is the better ad for your campaign.
Frank, we are counting on you. I think that you're going to find that our testimonial ads are very powerful.
Any questions? If not, let's roll.
Thank you, Doctor.
Hey, guys. Hey. How you doing? Love chocolate muffins. I want to thank you all for coming. You're going to do something really special today. You're going to help choose the next senator of Pennsylvania. You all got your dials? These go from 0 to 100, and they register on that computer right there exactly how you're thinking and how you're reacting to ads. If you really hate what you're watching, you're going to keep it at 0. If you really like it, you should be at 100. You react to everything that you see, every word, every frame, every sentence. Now, if you really hate it, what number should you be at? 0. If you really love it, what should you be at? 100. If you're neutral? 50. If you're from New York? 0. You got it. So grab your dials and let's take a look at the first ad. And remember, react to every single point that you see. And let's see which ad wins. Let's do it.
The race for Congress?
The race for Congress?
I want someone I know that's pro-life.
The race for Congress, we need a true conservative, no question about it.
Someone committed to winning the war.
Someone who wants to change Washington and not become part of it.
I'm not available right now, so please leave your message, including the time and date after the beep. Beep.
Jason, it's Josh Green again. Let's play a little game called Name That Porn Star. I'm going to show you a video, and you tell me if you recognize anybody in it, okay? Stop ignoring me and give me a call.
What would I be willing to do to have my taxes lowered? Well, if I thought it'd help, I'd strap a parachute on my mother-in-law's back and send her on a little sightseeing trip of the Keystone State. Stop. You don't need to put your mother-in-law's life at risk to lower taxes. What you really need is someone in the U.S. Senate who's going to fight every day to put an end to out-of-control pork barrel spending and earmarks. And I think it's time we stop using these to cut taxes and start using this. Okay, but if anything changes, just let me know.
I'm Bob Sanders, and I approve this message.
Excellent. Okay, can you all put down your dials? I now want to know what you think. Let's have a brief discussion. The mother-in-law being thrown from the plane. What was your reaction to that ad? Mildred.
I didn't get it. Was that supposed to be funny? I mean, I think whoever came up with the idea for that ad should be fired.
Anybody else?
Thank you, Millie, for that delightful insight. Oh, what? You think I'm being a little tough on Mildred? Yeah, I'm the ass, right? Okay, how about this? How about the next time you're in a plane at 30,000 feet, we just turn the controls over to some amateur? In my book, it's every bit as absurd as allowing Mildred the power to kill my ass. Ah!
Wow. Anybody else? Mary?
Yes. Do you have any more of those cookies with the sprinkly things on them?
No, I don't. Anyone else? Excellent. I want to thank you all very much for your participation. Appreciate you coming. Now take care. Don't you even think of put it down. Put a cookie down. Thank you. I appreciate you coming.
Frank, you were absolutely brilliant. The way you drew information out of those people was just remarkable. And I don't think it could be any more clear that we need to go up immediately with the testimonial ads.
Testimonial ads?
Yes.
Were you watching the dials? Were you listening to what they had to say?
But that one woman said that she was clearly offended by the humorous ads. That means others would be too. Only an idiot would go up with those spots.
That one woman is an idiot. It is so clear that we go with the humorous ads.
So you would even put up the mother-in-law ad?
Congressman, I'd even put up the mother-in-law ad. Look, I gotta go to television. I wish you a lot of luck. You're gonna need it.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
You got it.
What?
Nothing. Once again, I look like the bitch. It's not fair. You think any of the consultants in that room really care about my husband? No. To them, he's just a piece of meat. And as soon as this race is over, they're gonna pack up their little circus and take it to some other state. But there's something else I know. When my husband climbs into bed tonight, he's climbing into bed with me, not them. And you can be pretty damn sure we're going with the testimonial ads.
Please pick up.
Hello, it's Jason.
Jason, it's Tracy. Houston, we've got a problem. I've always wanted to say that.
Hello? Is anybody there?
Seriously, we have a code blue. Or is it red? Well, it's whichever one is more serious.
I'm sorry, who is this again? I'm having a lot of trouble hearing you.
How much Ambien did you take, J-boy? It's Tracy. You know, you're quite charming, yet sometimes quirky assistant whom you sexually harass about 10 times a day.
I'm sorry, maybe if you spelled your name slowly. And remember to enunciate clearly.
I don't believe this. It's Tracy. T as in Tupperware, R as in Republican, A as in what you often are, C as in we're not going to go there, and I as in you're an immature imbecile because I know you can hear me.
Hello? Hello? Oh, wait. I know what the problem is. This isn't really me. I'm not available right now, so please leave your message, including the time
I don't believe this. I've been talking to a friggin' machine this whole time. Jason, it's Tracy. When you get this, call me right away. It's really important.
Hello, it's Jason.
I figured you'd need a double. Alicia and Techno are in the conference room.
Jimmy D
is holding on speakerphone.
Clearly, we're in panic mode this morning.
Jimmy, you there?
What problem have you crazy kids gotten into now?
I need everyone to understand that what we are about to talk about will be the only time we will ever talk about this. You cannot discuss this with your friends, your family, not even the girls on the 1-900 lines we consider our close personal friends. Nobody, ever.
We're in like a cone of silence thing?
We're in like, if you ever say anything to anyone, I will personally hunt you down, cut off your tongue, and feed it to wild wolves kinda thing.
We talking a sharp knife or a dull knife?
Okay, so for a couple of weeks now, I've been dodging phone calls from this guy, Josh Green. I assumed he was just another whack job, so I kinda ignored him.
The Josh Green?
You know him?
Like, yeah, I know him.
Then again, you know everything, don't you?
He's famous for doing big-time hit pieces on Rove and Hillary Clinton. This guy is good. He's relentless.
You think we could move it along to the point where the plot thickens?
Yeah. Well, so Tracy's in my office early, and the phone's ringing off the hook. She picks it up, and it's this Josh Green guy. Now, he claims to be in possession of a videotape. To be more precise, a 20-year-old porno flick starring a young woman who bears a remarkable resemblance to,
Oh my God. Beth Sanders?
Cool.
We have to discredit this thing, and we don't have a lot of time. Green is on a flight right now from DC to Pittsburgh to show us the tape. He's gonna call me as soon as his flight lands. We need to find a way to convince him that it isn't Beth Sanders.
Why don't we just ask Beth Sanders?
Oh, okay. Ask Beth Sanders. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. 1 second, why don't we just role play that one out? Hello, Mrs. Sanders. Hi, it's me, Jason Mahoney. You mean the Jason Mahoney, idiot campaign manager that I think's the most incompetent person in the world? Why, yes, the one and the same. Say, I was wondering if I could talk to you for a moment about, let's just call it an incident that happened a couple of decades ago where you might have had sex for money in front of a cameraman, a sound guy, a couple of electricians, and some idiot yelling action.
Can I listen in when you make that call?
There isn't gonna be a phone call, Techno. Instead, this is what we're going to do. Jimmy, you're gonna dig up anything you can on Josh Green. I wanna know if he's ever paid his taxes late, any arrests, a good divorce, a bad divorce. Did he return a library book late in the 5th grade? Anything that will let me kill the messenger if I have to.
I'll pull all the stories he's ever written to see if he's ever been burned writing something not true.
Let me check on Voter Vault and see how he's registered. I'll also spend some time on Open Secrets, see if he's made any political contributions.
Good.
Maybe we can make the case that he's a closet liberal trying to destroy us.
Okay, good. One more thing, the credits for the film list the actress of note as one Eleanor Monroe. Someone needs to surf the web and see if there are any more clips floating around starring a young woman with that name. Any volunteers? Hi, this is Jason.
Ah, the elusive Mr. Mahoney. Josh Green here.
Hold on. Okay. I've arranged for a private room to view the tape in the hotel near the airport. I'm gonna go pick up the congressman and brief him on the way. Alicia, Techno, get whatever you can and whatever Jimmy finds and meet me there. Now go. Go now. Going faster. We're going faster. Hi, Josh. Hi. Yeah, say, I hope you had a pleasant flight.
Yeah, somehow I think that statement lacks sincerity, Jason. Why don't I swing by the campaign office? We can sit down and look at this tape and I can get out of your way.
Are you kidding me? I do not want you or that tape anywhere near this office. I don't want anyone to see your name or even think that I'm talking to you about this ridiculous matter.
Look, I don't care how we do it. I just need somebody from the campaign to tell me whether or not this is Beth Sanders. If it makes you feel better, we can use code names for each other.
You mean like in Reservoir Dogs?
Precisely.
Okay. How about we call me Mr. Pink, and you, we'll refer to you as Mr. Asshole.
Look, Jason, I'm not going away. I understand this tape could blow up your campaign, but you and I are both professionals and we got a job to do here, so where are we gonna meet?
Take the shuttle towards long-term parking. Get off at the B ramp. See a hotel on your left.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've arranged for the Monongahela room. There should be a VCR already in there. See you then, bye.
Ah, you must be Jason, I assume. Congressman Sanders, I didn't know you were going to be coming. Josh Green.
Save the pleasantries. I'm not here to make friends, you son of a bitch.
Well, if that's the way you want to play it, why don't we just go to the tape?
I'm not going to be watching any video. And that's my wife you've been talking about, the woman I know, love, and trust. I don't need to see it, so I can tell you it's not her. Mrs. Sanders would never do anything like that.
Congressman, put yourself in my position for a minute. I've been handed an X-rated videotape that a lot of smart people believe features your wife in the starring role. I've seen the tape. I think it's possible it's her. I'm just trying to nail down the facts. And you, sir, are a politician who loves to preach about family values. Well, that being the case, I think it's fair game to look at the values of your family.
Mr. Green, I believe in an America where we honor the God above, where people understand the difference between right and wrong, and where the protection of human dignity and life trump all else. That being said, I think you, myself, and my wife will make mistakes.
So you think your wife just made a mistake?
Not as big a mistake as you and your publishers will be making if you run a story, any story, that implies that that is my wife. Excuse me. I have an election to win.
So, let's take a look at your little tape.
All queued up, just hit play.
Hello? Anybody order a pizza?
So, what do you guys think?
I'd have to say that the character development is excellent, but I didn't really buy the plot twist in the second act. Alicia?
I found the irony and subtle references to Greek mythology were fascinating, and the soundtrack was marvelous.
I think those are excellent critiques. But I found something that I think is even more interesting. Did you happen to notice who the co-star was with Miss Eleanor Monroe, or as you allege, the lovely Beth Sanders?
How could that possibly be relevant?
Well, Mr. Green, it's quite clear you don't know your porn. You see, we can use the actual performers to date when the video was produced. For example, if it starred Sasha Grey, it would be of a relatively recent vintage. If it included Jill Kelly, it would likely have been from the mid-90s. Barbara Dare, the late 80s. Sharon Mitchell, you can be pretty sure the late 70s or early 80s.
You hired a porn historian?
Well, he is our web guy.
Now, if it starred Ginger Lynn, we'd be screwed. No pun intended. Because she's from the 80s, 90s, and even now. Very resilient actress.
Look, this is all very interesting, but I need to know, is that or is that not Beth Sanders?
Mr. Green, I think you need to let us know if you think it's Beth Sanders, because the co-star is Cindy Donovan, who made her very last adult film in the year of 1984. When Beth Sanders was a mere 17-year-old lassie. If that is Beth Sanders, you're the proud owner of child pornography, which in Pennsylvania is not only illegal, but includes mandatory jail time.
Well, I didn't say that was Beth Sanders. I said that looked like her. That's why I came here, to get your side of the story. And now I think we pretty well established that is not Beth Sanders. And so I think my work here is finished.
Well, don't forget your tape. You might want to be a little careful trying to get through airport security, though.
Keep it. It's yours.
I could kiss you.
What's stopping you?
The fact that it's you.
Good point.
What a cute little doggy. What's her name? Her name's Jackie. I name all my little pumpkins after first ladies. Have a nice one. Let's go show Papa how pretty we are.
Sinclair.
Sinclair, Doyle just went up with a negative ad. Yeah, this is pretty hard. Are you someplace you can take a look at it?
Yeah, I just got the CMAG alert about 5 minutes ago. I'm in my editing suite. Dad and I are about to put it up on the screen right now. Hold on a second.
We got it.
Here we go.
I'm Patrick Doyle, and I approve this message.
Who is Bob Sanders, and why does he want to be in the Senate? In Congress, Sanders voted for every mistake of the last decade. The Iraq War, the Bush economic policies, securities deregulation. Sanders even voted to end the school lunch program that provides the food poor kids need to survive. And who does Sanders support? Big guns and even bigger tobacco, Wall Street tycoons, and the captains of corporate greed. In fact, Sanders is so extreme, he's even been called the new Dick Cheney. Sanders, out to lunch.
It's actually a pretty good ad.
Can you jump on a quick conference call with me, Alicia, and the congressman?
I thought you guys were on a bus tour.
Yeah, we're almost back in Pittsburgh. We've got a fundraiser there tonight. Look, just call in on the Monday morning conference line. I'll have Alicia and the senator call in as well.
Hello, Alicia on.
Sinclair on.
Jason on.
Do you realize how ridiculous this is? That 4 of us are on a conference call and 3 of us are sitting within 5 feet of each other?
Congressman, here's the deal. I just saw
Doyle's ad hitting you, and it's good.
I mean, it's gonna hurt us.
I wish I'd written that Cheney line myself.
As of today, we're running about 800 GRPs behind the testimonial spot.
I wanted to run about 1,200, but we can't wait. Let me cut a response ad today. I'll DG
it to the stations. We'll have it up and on by tomorrow morning.
I'm okay with that, but not the drunk driving stuff.
Understood. I'm gonna hit him for raising taxes when he voted for the
midnight pay raise. You know, that should move some numbers, trust me. Is Beth gonna want to be in on this decision?
Look, the last time I checked, it was my name on the ballot, not hers. Fire away.
Please. First of all, let me thank you all, especially this beautiful group up here, for coming tonight and showing your support for a congressman who has done more for this state than any other I can think of, and who's gonna do more for you because of your help and your support as the next senator from our great state of Pennsylvania. Let me introduce Congressman Bob Sanders and his lovely wife, Beth.
You guys are great. You guys are great. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Doesn't Beth look fabulous? Oh, you guys are a beautiful group. This has been a very long campaign, and we have just a little ways to go. I mean, the crowds are growing. The polls are tightening. But the stakes are higher than ever. Are we going to win this thing? going to win this thing! But Beth and I, we cannot thank you enough for all your hard work. But it was a very, very long bus tour. I'm even getting a little hoarse. I'm sorry. So tonight, I think I'm going to go home. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to go home and get a little bit of rest. But I want you all to please stay and have a terrific time. Because tomorrow morning, I'm going to need you out there to hit the ground running. We are going to have to work. We're going to have to knock on doors. But we do not want Pat Doyle walking on the floor of the Senate after this election. Are you guys going to help me win this thing? Let's go get him. You have a great time tonight. Thank you all so much. Good night.
Boy. I was wondering where you were hiding. Come dance with me.
We're down by 9 in the polls. We're running behind in the money game, and Doyle just set out an ad that said, tour. I don't feel much like dancing.
Jason, you're doing a great job. The only reason Sanders is in the game is because of you. But you need to have a little fun. Here's the deal, J-Boy. If you don't make time to relieve some of that stress, you're gonna burn up and explode. And we don't want that, do we?
Had a wee bit too much to drink tonight, have we?
That, my little boss, you are correct about. But Jason, I know what I'm saying. It would never go any further than you and me. I know how to keep a secret. And I'm pretty sure you do too. Now I'm gonna get Melissa to give me a ride home. I guess I should be there in about 15 minutes. And I'm pretty sure you know right where that is. Jason, I know what I'm saying. But you need to have a little fun. It would never go any further than you and me. I know how to keep a secret.
First, let me just say, whatever I do say, it's probably the alcohol talking a little bit. B, I know that it's completely inappropriate that I'm here right now. And finally, I was wondering if maybe you just wanted to grab a cup of coffee and talk for a little bit.
Let me get my jacket.
With just 2 weeks until Election Day, today's debate may be the last chance for Bob Sanders to make this a race.
If Pat Doyle just keeps from making any major mistakes today, this is his election.
That's right. Our latest KHDY poll has State Senator Patrick Doyle with a comfortable 7-point lead over Congressman Bob Sanders. But the clock is ticking down on time to connect with the voters.
One can only wonder what Jason Mahoney, the young campaign manager for Robert Sanders, will be doing in these final few tense moments before this critical debate to convince his candidate to ignore the experts who already suggest this race may already be over.
What? Over? Did you say over?
Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Because when the going gets tough.
All right, we got 5 minutes till showtime. Marty, you got any last-minute words of advice for the congressman?
Yes, I do. 2 things. First, answer the questions that you want to answer, not the questions that they ask. Second, every chance you get, look right down the barrel of those cameras and remind these people that Doyle voted to raise their taxes and then turned right around and gave himself a pay raise.
All right, Congressman. Time for you to get your game face on.
I'm not too proud to tell you that I am just a bit nervous. Jason, tell me you do have the audience packed with a good group of our supporters?
Taken care of. We worked closely with the young Republicans, and they promised they would fill the room full of over-caffeinated college kids screaming, Sanders!
Jason, I need to talk to you.
Now?
Get out here right now.
I'll be back. Right back. In 2 minutes, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna kick some butt. What?
This place is packed with Doyle supporters, and there's nobody here for us.
That's impossible. I spoke to the head of the YRs this morning. She assured me they'd be here and all fired up.
I just got off the phone with her. Around noon, someone called her claiming to be your assistant. They told her that due to votes in Washington, the debate had to be canceled. She said she'd try to get some people here as soon as possible, but it didn't sound good.
Okay, you guys had me going for a second. But...
Sorry, buddy.
This is a really, really funny story. Mrs. Sanders, Beth, I think you in particular are going to find this amusing.
Is this going to be another Jason screwed up and we're now traveling rapidly on an unending course towards unstoppable doom and disaster with only the most remote possibility of winning? That kind of story?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Robin Capehart, and I'm the president of West Liberty University.
I'd like to welcome you to this very important debate between our 2 candidates for the United States Senate
From Pennsylvania. Now give a warm welcome to Democratic State Senator Patrick Doyle. Sure, you'll give an equally warm welcome to U.S. Congressman Bob Sanders.
Thank you, President Capehart. Just to review the ground rules, each candidate will be given 2 minutes to respond to questions directed to him, and then his opponent will be given 1 minute for a rebuttal. As luck would have it, Mr. Doyle, the first question is yours.
And as an added bonus for you, Mr. Doyle, the very first question of today's debate will be asked by Megan Hopewell of Simpson Middle School. Megan won a statewide contest for this honor.
$10 as she asked me, what's my favorite animal?
Megan, go ahead, sweetheart.
Mounting evidence suggests that Iran is rapidly moving towards the development of full nuclear capability. The same Iran whose president, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, has refused to be cooperative with international inspectors, hid the location of a second facility, and has stated that Israel should be wiped off the face of the earth. Senator Doyle, since sanctions rarely work, are you prepared to bomb Iran to keep this madman from having nuclear capability?
Well, Megan, very serious, very interesting question. And I think I can sum it up for you in 2 words. George Bush.
We ask that the audience please stay respectful during this debate.
This isn't gonna be a debate. It's gonna be a liberal love fest.
Well, here's where we went off track. You have
Cowboy diplomacy, Commander-in-Chief George W. Bush flying around the world creating havoc. You have Dick Cheney, G.I. Joe, despite the deferments, flying around the world creating havoc. We're invading countries that aren't a threat to our national security. They have no weapons of mass destruction. We're running around blowing things up. And that's how we created the disaster that we currently face today. Thank goodness every American can go to sleep tonight knowing that Barack Obama is in the White House.
Mr. Sanders, you have 1 minute for rebuttal.
Please tell me he's going after Doyle's throat.
I think that Iran is a very complicated situation.
We need to think about immediately starting sanctions.
Of course, I'm not really convinced that that would work, but I do think it's something we should try. I think Russia also needs to do more. As I said.
That's it? That's his answer.
We're toast.
Hey, Alicia. Great turnout today, huh?
When did you guys think up the idea to call our people and tell them the debate was canceled?
Oh, let's see. I'm pretty sure that happened about 5 seconds after we found out that you somehow hacked into our campaign's computer and sent everyone an email telling them that the debate had been delayed by 2 hours.
But before we figure out where we go, I think we have to figure out how we got here. And more specifically, who
Wow,
is to
your
blame.
candidate really looks like he's on today. See you spinning after the massacre.
Mr. Sanders? Mr. Sanders, that question was directed at you.
Oh, sorry.
Guys, we can't just stand around and do nothing. Sanders is a big Steelers fan, right? What would the fans do if the Steelers were down by 14 with time running out?
Head for the exits.
Renegade.
What?
They play the song Renegade by Styx and the crowd goes crazy. You know, the band from the south side of Chicago formed in 1972. Their breakout album.
Why don't we play that?
Mr. Doyle, your party has passed a stimulus package that has cost the American people a great deal of money, but seems to have
come up short on the stimulus part. For example, where are
the jobs? So what would you do to jumpstart the economy?
Oops.
Package
Wrong track.
is the degree to which George Bush
Nearly destroyed our economy with his senseless war
and his endless tax cuts for millionaires and
billionaires. Hello? What? Hello? Is there anything we can do about the audio, please? Is there anyone in the audio booth who could cut the music? Is anyone in charge here?
I demand that music be turned off immediately.
Who are we kidding? This is clearly an attempt by my opponent to disrupt the dignity of tonight's debate.
Enough! This is quite enough!
I will tell you what's enough. Big taxing, hay-grabbing senator here, blaming everything that is wrong in this country on George Bush. I will remind my friend that it was his party's president that greatly embarrassed this country and brought our values to a new low when he got caught playing Interns Gone Wild in our White House.
Excuse me for a minute, Vice President Cheney. That is, Congressman Sanders. You know, it might help if I was allowed to get a word in edgewise every now and then. Oddly enough, it actually takes 2 people to have a debate.
That's not true, Patrick. You have had so many positions on the same issue. You could easily stand here and debate yourself.
I am not going to sit here and take it while this man makes these ridiculous allegations.
Jason, you watching Doyle? He's about to explode.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can get some kind of signal to Sanders to go for the kill?
It seems that my esteemed colleague here has become
A bit of a one-trick pony. You know, you arrive in one of these things thinking you're going he wants to talk about is pay raises?
Well, Senator, then why don't you take this opportunity to explain to these people why you voted to raise their taxes and then a pay raise for yourself?
This is overly dramatic nonsense. You should be ashamed of yourself. You have evolved into a pompous ass. We are valuable public servants. As far as I'm concerned, we should have even voted ourselves an even bigger pay raise.
Today is Election Day, and my funeral. With 1 week to go and heading into the only debate of the campaign, our tracking poll had us down by 7. After what could only be described as the most bizarre debate in history, we're just 3 points down, which meant we were in the game. And I was still alive. The first thing I did this morning was to have the congressman vote. From there, I sent the congressman and his lovely wife, Beth, to work the polls. Now, what happens here is a rather strange ritual. The candidate warmly greets people as they arrive and sincerely asks them for their vote. The voter then assures the candidate that they intend to do exactly that. Unfortunately, many of them are lying. One of the biggest oddities of Election Day is time itself. Since you're in what can only be described as a hellish state, you try everything you can to make time go faster. And I mean everything. Around 4 o'clock, it's time for the walkthrough. Now, this is when you inspect everything that's gonna happen at your election night location. Are there enough balloons? Is the band on stage or off to the side? And maybe most importantly, is there a good place to slip out unnoticed? It's also about this time that the news media begin to arrive and stake out their positions. Since this race is considered so big, we even have a Russian TV reporter here all the way from Moscow. We also have 2 very important security areas. Unless you have one of these, you ain't getting in. Now, the first is our war room. That's Techno, our resident geek, who's setting up the hardware so we can get election results the second they're available. Welcome to the holding room. Now, this is where Congressman Sanders and his lovely wife, Beth, will be spending their evening watching the painful results come pouring in. Until the polls close at 8 p.m., we will indulge ourselves in chilled shrimp, little rolled up sandwiches with toothpicks, some sugar goodies, and as much alcohol as we can possibly consume. To break the unbearable nervous tension in our little waiting room, Sinclair regales us with amusing stories from campaigns past.
And it turns out we shouldn't even live in the county.
This may be the very last time we will find each other's company so enjoyable. It's now around 9:30, and about 15% of the state is in. Sanders is losing by 8 points. When 28% has been counted, we're down 11. With 48% tallied, Doyle has a commanding 13-point lead. I decide it's a good time to take a little walk. I make my way to the ballroom. The band is playing a big dance hit from the 80s, but not a single person is dancing or laughing. A look of gloom and death is everywhere. That's when I notice Alicia, with her seductive smile making her way over to me. She leans over and quietly whispers to me.
I just learned from the Associated Press that they're calling the race for Doyle.
The Associated Press is bringing us breaking news now. They have declared 51-year-old state legislator Patrick Doyle the next senator from the state of Pennsylvania. And clearly the word we're hearing here is it was the sheer incompetence of campaign manager Jason Mahoney that led to Sanders' defeat.
I would not want to be Jason Mahoney right now. Who the heck would ever hire him?
Patrick Doyle is the winner of this American Senate race. One can only assume that losing campaign manager Jason Mahoney will be executed.
You stay here and deal with the press. I should be with the congressman. Jason. Not now, Techno.
Once again, the Associated Press has declared Patrick Doyle as the winner of the very hard-fought Pennsylvania U.S. Senate race.
with more breaking election night news as it happens.
I want the three of you gone when I get back. You, come with me. Now!
Pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up. Jason Mahoney, pick up the phone.
Time's up, buddy. Party's over. Beat it. Don't even think about it. Jason, when a loss like this occurs, it is very difficult to place the blame on any one person. And I want you to know that I hold no one responsible for this loss. No one other than you. And I further want you to know that I will spend every waking moment of my life making sure that you never, ever work in politics again. You are an incompetent, an idiot. And as far as I'm concerned, you're dead.
It's been a long and interesting journey for you and I. We've traveled a long way together. But unfortunately, this is where our journey must end. Because in the world of politics, once you're dead, you're dead. At least that's what I thought until I answered the phone. Yes, Techno.
Clearly, you're not familiar with the strange custom that the campaign manager actually be with the campaign on election night.
Yeah, and you're clearly not aware that the AP already called the race.
Dude, it's Fisher Cone all over again.
Fisher what?
Brush up on your history, buddy boy. 1996, Pennsylvania's Attorney General's race. At about 10:30 p.m., the AP called the race for Joe Cone. All the TV stations ran with it, even the newspapers.
Yeah, well, I sure hope there's more to the story than that.
Early the next morning, Cone is disturbed from a peaceful sleep with a knock at his door. It's his campaign manager with a nice cup of coffee and the bad news that Mike Fisher ended up winning the race.
Are you telling me we're still in it?
What he's telling you, J-Boy, is that 86% of the vote is now in, and we're only down 4 points. So, with all the counties that are out, no one can call this race, not even the AP. So get your little butt back here.
Now.
A little bit of a recap for you now to set the scene. Patrick Doyle started the night with what seemed like a simply insurmountable lead.
But as the smaller and more Republican counties in the middle of Pennsylvania began to come in, Sanders started a remarkable comeback.
Now, we've just learned that Associated Press has retracted its earlier declaration that State Senator Doyle won this election. This race is now too close to call.
Beth? Beth! Come look at this.
Well, you can see the ballroom behind me is starting to fill up. It was very quiet here earlier, but the crowd has started to increase dramatically on news that this race is actually tightening up.
Everyone here is very anxiously watching TVs throughout the ballroom as the final results trickle in.
As I made my way back to the hotel ballroom, it hit me. I hadn't died. I'd been given a great gift. I had been given a front row in the ultimate reality show, politics. And I got to experience everything from colossal stupidity to joy, laughter, hope, and failure. And isn't that what living is really all about? Then I saw her headed my way. Will she be my angel or my grim reaper?
I just called up to the Congressman and Mrs. Sanders and told them to come down here.
And it's official this time?
It is.
Word is now some breaking news, according to Fox News, CNN,
and the Associated Press.
The long-fought battle for U.S. Senate is finally over.
The projected winner is Bob Sanders.
Thank each and every one of you, because it's your hard work that brought us here today. And it's because of that hard work that I can introduce to you now the next senator from our great state of Pennsylvania, Bob Sanders, and his lovely wife, Pat.
Are there any other lessons I can leave you with? Just one. Winning is a hell of a lot more fun than losing.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On fire. You want the key to my heart. You got a special way to move me. Don't stop. Let's do it again. You got me dancing through the moonlight. I feel the pleasure in your touch.